Hello dear listener, please subscribe to our channel, enjoy watching. This is the first part of a story about a drama that happened in my family. The night had once been a sanctuary, a silent witness to the love that blossomed between Amanda and me. It cradled our whispers, our laughter, and the tender moments that stitched the fabric of our marriage together. Yet, as autumn bled into winter, the night transformed into a chasm that began to swallow the warmth of our union whole. It started subtly, the change. Amanda, with her chestnut hair that danced in the wind and eyes that mirrored the tumultuous sea, began to slip away into the night's embrace with the ghost of a promise to return. At first, these nocturnal wanderings were infrequent, a rarity I attributed to the stress of her job at the gallery or the insomnia that occasionally ensnared her. But as the leaves turned from gold to brown, her absences became a ritual, as predictable as the phases of the moon. Our home, once a haven of shared secrets and dreams, grew heavy with silence. Dinners were left untouched. Conversations became monologues. In the bed we once shared warmth and felt miles wide. Each night, as Amanda's silhouette vanished into the embrace of the darkness, my mind waged wars with itself. Questions with no answers became my companions, their weight anchoring me to a sea of unease. I tried to bridge the chasm, to reach out to the woman who seemed more phantom than flesh. My attempts were met with assurances that felt like veils, thin and easily torn, revealing nothing but more shadows. "Just a walk to clear my head," she'd say, her voice a melody that no longer played the same. Yet, the more she vanished, the more the foundation of our marriage crumbled, leaving behind a structure haunted by doubts and fears. One night, driven by a concoction of desperation and love, I followed her. The moon, a sliver of silver in the sky, cast a pale light, painting the world in hues of secrets and lies. Amanda moved with purpose, her steps a silent testament to the burden she carried. I trailed behind, a shadow stalking another, until we reached the outskirts of town where the street lights dared not venture. There, in the embrace of the night, she stopped and looked up at the stars as if seeking answers from their ancient glow. I watched, a spectator to a ritual I could not understand, as tears glistened on her cheeks, reflecting the starlight. The moment was broken by a sudden rustle, a reminder of my presence, and she vanished once more, leaving me alone with the night and my gnawing suspicions. The walk back home was a pilgrimage through a landscape of doubts. The silence of our bedroom upon my return was a mausoleum for all the words left unsaid, a monument to the vanishing act that had become my wife's escape. In that moment, I understood that the woman I loved was slipping away, not just into the night, but from the very fabric of our life together. The vanishing was not just a physical act, but an emotional retreat, a slow fading of the vibrant colors of our love into the monochrome of mystery. And so, the stage was set for a descent into the unknown, a journey into the heart of shadows where the truth lay buried beneath layers of secrets and silence. The vanishing was but the first act in a play whose script was written in the ink of heartache and the inevitable unraveling of a life I thought I knew. As days melded into nights and Amanda's nocturnal absences wove themselves into the tapestry of our lives, a seed of suspicion was planted in the fertile soil of my heart. It germinated in silence, fed by the whispers of doubt that danced like specters in the corners of my mind. Each unexplained departure, each evasive answer, watered this seed, nurturing it into a gnarled vine that entwined around my thoughts, choking the trust that once flourished between us. The transformation of my perception was subtle yet profound. The home we shared, once a gallery of our love's artwork, began to feel like a stage for a play of shadows and deception. Objects that held memories of our shared happiness now seemed to mock me with their permanence, a photograph of us smiling under the summer sun, a vase of flowers she once brought in to brighten the room, even the indent on her side of the bed. They all whispered secrets I could not decipher, sung melodies of a life that was slipping through my fingers like grains of sand. In the quiet moments, when the night stretched its fingers across the sky, I found myself listening for the sound of her return, each footstep a note in a symphony of doubt. The door would eventually open, and she would glide in, a specter bathed in moonlight, her features obscured by the darkness. Our conversations became a dance around the truth, her words stepping deftly away from my probing questions, leaving me spinning in circles of frustration and confusion. The whispers weren't confined to the silent conversations between us, they began to echo in the world beyond our walls. Friends and family, once distant observers, started to voice their concerns, their words laced with the poison of suspicion. "Have you noticed how often Amanda leaves at night?" they would ask, their voices a mixture of curiosity and concern. "Do you think everything is all right between you two?" These questions, meant to be a bomb, only served to inflame my doubts, turning my suspicions into a bonfire that threatened to consume the remnants of my trust. One turned to the digital world for answers, diving into the depths of her social media, emails, and messages like a detective obsessed with solving the mystery of his own life. Yet, this search only led me deeper into the labyrinth of my suspicions, each unanswered question a thread leading me further away from the truth. It was in this state of turmoil that I found myself confronting her, the words spilling out of me like a dam breaking. "Where do you go at night? Why won't you tell me?" The desperation in my voice was met with silence, her eyes pools of moonlight that reflected my own torment. Her response, when it came, was a whisper, a breeze that could not quell the storm within me. "I just need some time alone," she said, her voice a ghost of the love we once shared. But solitude does not wear the cloak of night nor seek refuge in the arms of darkness. Her words, meant to soothe, only served to fan the flames of my suspicions. In that moment, a chasm opened between us, wide and insurmountable, filled with the whispers and shadows of doubt. The woman I loved was becoming a puzzle, her pieces scattered and hidden, leaving me to wonder if the picture they formed was one I no longer recognized. The night Amanda didn't return was the night the dam of my restraint finally broke, unleashing a torrent of fear and action that had been building up behind the facade of strained normalcy. The clock, once a mere keeper of time, became a torturer, its every tick a hammer blow to my already fraying nerves. Hours passed, each one a lengthening shadow of dread stretching across my heart. The house, silent and accusatory, seemed to hold its breath, waiting for a resolution that stubbornly refused to come. As dawn painted the sky in strokes of pink and gold, a grim realization settled over me like a shroud. This was no ordinary night, this was a harbinger of something far more sinister. The woman who had become a mystery, my wife, Amanda, was missing, and with her absence, the world seemed to tilt on its axis, throwing everything I knew into disarray. Driven by a mix of desperation and determination, I set out into the breaking day, armed with nothing but hope and the haunting image of Amanda's last smile. The police station, a beacon of order in the chaos of my thoughts, was my first destination. There, amidst the sterile walls and fluorescent lights, I tried to articulate the fear that had taken root in my soul. Words, however, seemed inadequate to describe the tempest within, and I stumbled through the report, each detail a thorn in my side. The officers, with their practiced neutrality, listened and took notes, their expressions giving nothing away. Questions were asked, probing and impersonal, each one a reminder of how little I actually knew about Amanda's nocturnal wanderings. The realization that I was not just a husband reporting a missing wife, but a man shrouded in suspicion in their eyes was a bitter pill to swallow. Leaving the station, the world seemed different, as if I had stepped into an alternate reality where familiar streets held unseen dangers and every face was a mask hiding secrets. I became a seeker, tracing Amanda's steps into the unknown, visiting places that were part of our shared life in the hope of finding a clue, a sign, anything that would lead me to her. Friends, acquaintances, even strangers were approached, each conversation a mixture of hope and dread. But answers were as elusive as shadows at noon, and with each dead end, the weight of despair grew heavier. The city, once a map of our life together, became a labyrinth of loss and uncertainty. The search stretched on, days blurring into nights and back into days, each passing moment a reminder of Amanda's absence. Flyers with her smiling face stared back at me from lampposts and bulletin boards, silent witnesses to the desperation of my quest. Social media appeals were launched into the digital ether, each share and retweet a beacon of hope flickering in the vast darkness of the unknown. Yet, as the world moved on around me, I was trapped in a limbo of waiting and searching, caught between the life I once knew and the unfathomable reality of Amanda's disappearance. The search became my crucible, testing the limits of my love, my hope, and my sanity. In the quest to find Amanda, I found instead the depths of my own fear and the realization that the woman I was searching for might be a stranger, her secrets a chasm dividing us. And so, the search went on, a Sisyphean task that offered no respite, no answers, just the endless echo of a question that haunted my every step: where is Amanda? See the next video for the continuation of the story. If you leave a comment, tell us what you think about the story you heard. It's important to us and will help us find and tell stories that you find interesting. Thank you for watching us.